Indiana Jones, but for today I am Mother Earth because today is Earth Day and I am co-hosting this wonderful playlist. It's a first time playlist from my friend Crystal of the Purple Pixie. I'm so happy that you asked me to co-host with you because there's nothing more challenging, more fun and more exciting than taking trash and making it into treasure. So let's see what I came up with for today. My first craft, I'm going to recycle this kitty snack bucket. And I'm going to use folk art paint in the color of cottage white. If you've never seen this color before, I have never seen it before. And I just thought it was so lovely. And of course, I mixed in a little bit of baking soda just to make it into a kind of chalk paint. So I just thought, you know, if I'm going to have kitty snacks above my refrigerator, let's make it pretty. Let's make it look like something you would find in a cottage. Here, I should have taken off the label ahead of time, but you know, I was just trying to do things fast. It doesn't matter anyway, because after 2 coats, you won't even notice that there's a label there. So continue covering your whole bucket or bottle, whatever you want to call this, and then put it aside and we'll get started on the next phase of this wonderful little craft. For this next step, I'm going to use these IOD stamps that was given to me by Jackie Burns, a lovely fellow YouTube creator who gave me this as a wonderful birthday present. So the first thing you have to do with any kind of stamps is condition it, and that's just using a little bit of light sanding just to sand down the stamp a little bit. Now I'm going to use Crayola air dry clay and I'm going to thin it out, roll it out in between the parchment sheets. So it'll be easier for me to fix the label on it. And also I wanted to make it really nice. I've seen a very rustic look with this clay design, but I wanted to give it a nice pretty edge, something very British or something like that, almost looking like a seal. So I'm going to use a cookie cutter after I have rolled out the clay. And there I am measuring the cookie cutter and the clay. So now that it's ready, I cut it out with the cookie cutter, which is this lovely scalloped edge. And now all I'm going to do is press the stamp in evenly and strong. And that's it. What I used is the top of the clay to help give me an even. And I think it worked for the most part. I think the edges were the hardest part. Then I decided to use the roller. Don't know if that was the right thing to do, but it did finish it off and create a lovely label. For this last step, all we have to do is the embellishments to this container. And basically I'm putting this lovely neutral ribbon that I got at the Dollar Tree. I've always wanted to use this and now I'm using it. I have to use my stuff. I always save it too much. Does that happen to you? You buy it and you don't use it because you keep wanting to save it, but then you never really use it? That's what happens to me, so that's why I'm using it now. Anyway, once I get the ribbon in place, then all I'm going to do is affix that clay label onto the front. Now, the clay isn't completely dry, but it's dry enough that I can glue it in place. And yes, I'm just using the Surebonder hot glue. It seems to work for me. And that's it. You are done, and it really looks very vintagey and just cute as can be. I really liked it. So I hope you like it too. I hope you try it out. For this next craft, we're going to use all those K-cups that we have hanging around the house. So what I did was I took the K-cups, took all the coffee out of the K-cups, and took them outside and I painted them silver just to have a base of silver. Now you can do this with a spray paint like I did, or you can paint it by hand. Now I'm stippling a little bit of gray and black and white to give it that galvanized steel look. And I think it looks really cute to make little pails, which these are going to be like little buckets. And it's just adorable when you can have them this small. And there you are. There you go. I'm adding the white just to give it that galvanized look. It also helps if you smush it together with a napkin. I don't know. That's how I do it. That's my technique. So there you go. Little galvanized pails or buckets, whatever you want to call them. And then we'll go to the next step. So now I'm going to fill these up with moss. You know how much I love moss. But yes, we're going to fill up the little buckets with moss and add some little flowers. Because I thought it would be cute to make a little flower banner with these little pails. And you'll see at the end how they look. My hand smelled like coffee. It was really cool. So now I'm taking these little blackboard labels that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I wrote bloom and grow. And I thought it would be cute for the banner. So all I'm doing here is using this green ribbon to attach the buckets of flowers and the little sayings from those little pieces of chalkboard, or those chalkboard labels. And that's it. That's going to be my cute little like cottagey, rustic, homemade banner to remind me to bloom and grow. Now let's make something fun out of those Amazon boxes. This is a small box that I received, and I love to keep boxes just in case for storage or to mail something to a friend. Now I'm just using some carton in the back or at the bottom of the box so that later I can decoupage a nice background. Now I'm also cutting out the front of the box or the top of the box with this arched frame that is from Dollar Tree. They're beautiful little arched frames, and I've been wanting to make an enchanted window box, this is what it's going to become. So here I am measuring what I need to cut out so you can see through that window pane or that frame. It's basically very easy to do. Once you have the measurements, just cut it out from the top of the box. Here I am just checking it again because it's good to check and recheck. I made it a little smaller than I needed to, but it'll work out. You'll see. It'll be just fine. Now I'm going to decoupage some of my favorite paper to the bottom of this box, or the back of this window if you want to call it. And we're just going to decoupage so it could be in the background. Now here I am decoupaging, of course using Mod Podge. Later on, however, I'm going to take some paint and my Mod Podge roller. There you go. I'm going to take some paint, which is very similar in the shades of that paper that I received or I got from Hobby Lobby, so that it looks a little more finished. But there you go. Just paint the inside of your cardboard box pretty much. I didn't paint the top, I'm sorry. But I didn't think anybody was going to see anything from that angle. Next, I'm going to decoupage the outside as well with the same paper that I used for the inside. That's pretty easy to do. And I was very lucky that it didn't wrinkle and that I got the right measurements for that window. Now I thought it would be fun to add a birdcage to this window box. And here's a birdcage that I made myself for the Minis challenge that is hosted by Corey of Crafted by Corey. I really enjoy making miniatures. Now I'm just using some wire to connect the birdcage inside of this box. And I'm using a wooden bead just to make it look cute. And so I wouldn't have to just glue it. And if I wanted to, I could just remove the birdcage and put other items in there for the different seasons. Now I'm just using some of those wood tumbling blocks just to add some more embellishments within that window box. Now I'm going to add one of those little buckets that I made with some flowers. And I also made a miniature hat box, which you'll see in just a moment. But if you want to see how I made all these items, there's a link to that video down below. Now I'm going to also set up the little mini hat box so it looks like you're peeking through a window, almost like a peeping Tom. I didn't think of that, but it's almost like you're peeking through a window and you can see somebody's life. Now they have a bird cage and some flowers and, you know, a hat box. It's just very feminine and frilly. So that's what this little box is all about. Now I'm going to put some of this miniature ivy so that it appears right underneath that window or door to Wonderland or Neverland, whatever you want to call it. Annieland in my experience. So I'm just attaching that small ivy just to add a little more texture and color to the frame. And here I'm going to use the gray frame. I might add some gold accents later, but for now I think it looks just fine. Now recently I became an affiliate with Totally Dazzled, and here is one of their items that I have received from them. I thought it was perfect to cover up that little glue spot, I guess, that's in the middle of those arched windows. Now I'm just going to add some more ivy and just decorate it and embellish it as I see fit. Lastly, I'm adding a ribbon so that you can seal or close the window shut and just leave it there as display, but it's still accessible if you want to open it up. You can still see your items or add more items or make a miniature Christmas tree, whatever you like, but this is your window box. Last but not least, let's add some fairy lights to that enchanted cottagecore window box. I hope you enjoy this. So I have to admit, this was my favorite little enchanted window, and I made little minis for another challenge, which was Corey from Crafted by Corey. I made a little mini hat box and a little mini bird cage, so I thought how perfect to put it in this Amazon box that I made into an enchanted window. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you check out the Purple Pixie, my friend Crystal. Thank you again for honoring me to be your first co-host for your first ever playlist challenge. Thanks to all of the creators that participated in this challenge today, and to all of you who are celebrating Earth Day in your own special way. But as I always like to say, stay safe, be kind, God bless each and every one of you, and remember to live the adventure. See you soon, guys. Like, share, and subscribe.